For talking to us. Earlier today in the session, you mentioned about the modified nexus approach, which is being considered as a part of the BEPS. This is specifically for the patent box regime. You described it very nicely. It's a box outside the box. Could you elaborate on this and how OECD will continue this work further?
So this is the work that we do as part of the BEPS action plan. It's one of the key deliverables of the action plan that's going to be delivered to the G20 finance ministers. So this is an OECD exercise, but it involves countries on an equal footing such as India, such as Brazil, such as China. So it's a much bigger world. It's a key piece because what it is seeking to address, if you think about the underlying policy, it is seeking to get to the point where if governments work together, we can enhance our sovereignty. How do we do this? We step in and we try to stop the race to the bottom, where everybody has an incentive regime that beggars the neighbor and so on and so on. So now we've come up with rules in this process of the G20, working through the OECD, of effectively having rules that we all agree, common rules to design of a patent box. What we don't have, we do not have a recommendation to have a patent box or a recommendation not to have a patent box. So when I discussed early on that what we're really focusing on is the box in the box, a country decides whether to have a patent box, not to have a patent box, but we create the outer limits of where the international community says, if you're within the box of the box, it is your policy choices. If you go beyond the box, we other countries have a problem. And in order to avoid that and help those countries, we've come up with these rules that are part of the BEPS action plan that we will be announcing publicly also in the run-up to the G20 meeting. And within that, we have a nexus approach that tries to link preferential taxation to R&D activities. The more research you do, the more benefiting income you can have.
Right, perfect. And one of the counters to this measure that's been talked about is that it may affect adversely the research activities that are carried out in the country compared to what was being done earlier. Do you agree with that criticism?
No, you would not be surprised that I don't. Why do we not? Because we have said if you have low taxation on passive income that is mobile, and royalty income, IP income, as we all see, is extremely mobile. If you have that, that creates a risk of shifting, of base erosion, that you attract the income but not the activity. So what we're trying to do is now we reconnect the activity, who does it, where it's done, with the income recognition. You bring those two together, we reconnect substantial activity, and effectively the message is this: if you want to have a patent box, and that's every country's decision, you have to have a patent box that builds on real activities, not accounting gimmicks, not tricks, but real activities, and then it's your choice where you set the rate, whether you have a patent box or not.
Right, last question. The BEPS, the next deadline for release of the next set of work is just few weeks around the corner. Are you sort of comfortable with meeting that deadline, and which are the key reports that we all need to watch out for in the next few weeks?
I think we're on a good course. We're moving ahead. We will be delivering at the time for the G20 meeting as we've promised. I think we're in the final and the last mile, if you wish. I think the important part is that BEPS is conceived as a whole. There is a reason those are not arbitrary actions. So it's difficult to say one action because they're synergetic with some of the other actions. So look at it as a package. I think it's a tremendously important package.
Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you.